From the 1st of December, during the 2 months, the Dhamma relatives have been here to practice Satipatthana meditation. So, the Dhamma relatives from all over, the Asian Dhamma relatives, Asian relatives, world relatives, samsara relatives, are here to practice the Dhamma during the special retreat. By practicing the Dhamma, the lives will be uplifted. The Dhamma family, the Dhamma relatives are here to uplift their life by practicing the Dhamma. So, yogis who are here, we are related to each other as Dhamma relatives. As much the yogis practice Satipatthana meditation, the Dhamma blood in them will be warm and will circulate better, and we will be closer in Dhamma blood. We will be closely related in the Dhamma blood as much the yogis practice the Dhamma. The Dhamma relatives have practiced Satipatthana meditation to uplift their life as much as they can, as much as they want. And now, as some of them are about to go back, they express their appreciation that they had the chance to practice here in the meditation retreat. And the Dhamma family who are living here, also giving help in the Dhamma. So before some of the yogis are about to leave, we express each other the appreciation that we have towards each other. And Saraji will like to also respond to the appreciation expressed by the yogis by giving the Dhamma gift, which can be used throughout the yogi's life. The person who has not understand the benefits of Satipatthana practice will not know that Satipatthana practice is very precious. And the person does not know that Satipatthana practice is essential for everyone, as the person does not understand the benefits. Satipatthana meditation is essential for everyone, and it is the practice that one must practice. It is the practice that one should not do without. Just as fresh, clean air is important for everyone, just as the fresh air is important for every being, in the same way, Satipatthana meditation is essential for everyone. If a being has to inhale polluted air, it can be fatal, or it can lead to illnesses such as headache, also have illnesses in the lungs, and it gives a lot of trouble having to inhale polluted air. That's why it is important to get fresh air. Because one gets air for free, they think that air is not precious. They think that fresh air is not precious as one can get it for free. One does not have to pay anything. But when the person has to inhale polluted air, then the person comes to know how precious the clean, fresh air is. Practicing Satipatthana meditation is also compared to the fresh air. Just as fresh air is essential for everyone, Satipatthana meditation is essential for everyone, every worldly being, for every person on earth. Satipatthana meditation is not only for Buddhists, but Satipatthana can be practiced by any person of any belief. Whether the person is a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu or an atheist, they can practice Satipatthana meditation. Satipatthana meditation is essential for everyone, regardless of race or religion. So just as fresh air is essential for everyone, Satipatthana meditation is essential for everyone. There are 4 factors to determine whether a certain kind of work is important. The first factor is, it is compulsory. One should do it. One should not do without it. And the second is, it should be done by oneself. No other person can do it on the person's behalf. And the third is, one should do it in time, on time, regularly. And the fourth is, it is beneficial. Inhaling fresh air is very important. Everyone has to inhale fresh air. One cannot do without fresh air. It is a must that one should inhale the air. And one has to breathe in, inhale by oneself. No other person can inhale the air on behalf. And if the person does not get to inhale the air, one gets dizzy, headache. So it is important to inhale the air in time, and one should inhale regularly. By inhaling fresh air regularly, then the blood circulation will be good. One gets good health. So one should inhale fresh air in time, and fresh air is very beneficial for everyone. So based on these 4 factors, one can conclude that fresh air is important to everyone. Satipatthana meditation is also important for everyone, just as fresh air is important to everyone. One should not fail, one should not be negligent to refrain from wrongdoings. One should not fail, one should not be negligent to perform wholesome things. There should be apamada, non-failure, non-negligence, to refrain from things that should be refrained, to perform things that should be performed. Failing to refrain from wrongdoings, one will meet harm and danger. Failing to perform wholesome things, one will not gain benefits. So that's why it is important not to fail, not to be negligent, to refrain from unwholesomeness, and to perform wholesomeness. So apamada is important for everyone, and one has to practice by oneself. No other person can practice apamada on behalf. It is the person himself or herself who has to practice, just as one needs to inhale fresh air by oneself. Having practiced Anapana, having practiced the mindfulness, one is able to refrain from wrongdoings, and thus one will not meet harm or danger. Having Anapana, one performs things that should be performed. Performing wholesome things, one gains benefit, and thus practicing Satipatthana meditation is essential for everyone. It is a must. It is compulsory. One should practice by oneself. One should practice in time. When having all the opportunities, when circumstances are favorable, that are conducive for the meditation, one should make the most out of it by practicing diligently, respectfully, meticulously. And some of the yogis are going back home. So when they are back home, there are many worldly matters to be taken care of. So you will not have as much time to practice in your home as the meditation center. So within the 24 hours, one should commit at least an hour a day for meditation practice. And one should practice in time regularly. By practicing Satipatthana meditation, one gains benefits such as purification of the mind. One gains the 7 benefits as taught by the Buddha. So it is very important not to fail, not to be negligent in the practice. As Satipatthana practice is essential for everyone. And Sayadaw encourages the yogis to practice regularly in time while they go back home as well. Most of the world beings are having pamada, negligence, failure. From the word apamada, when omitting the a, then becomes pamada. Pamada means negligence, failure, heedlessness, not having mindfulness. Not having mindfulness, one has no protection away from harm or danger. There is no protection, no blockage from harm and danger, and one will not be safe and secure. The person's life will not be safe or secure as the person is lacking mindfulness, lacking the protection of mindfulness. So the person is always captivated by the defilements. The person is not free from defilements. There is agitation, and the person does not gain peace or happiness. That's why Buddha taught that when coming across objects, one should protect oneself with mindfulness. One should have the protection of mindfulness. When one encounters good and bad objects, there should be protection, there should be mindfulness, so that one will not have greed on desirable objects, one will not have anger, aversion, dissatisfaction on undesirable objects. If the person has defilements, then it is compared to being sunk in the mud. And if the person is sunk in the mud of delusion, ignorance, the person commits wrongdoing, and the person will not perform wholesome things. So the person who commits wrongdoings will have bad results, will not gain benefits. When the person is sunk in the mud, the more a person struggles, the more the person sinks in the mud. So in Dhammapada, Buddha reminds the being to have delight in appamada, to relish in appamada. Appamada rata hota, sasita manurekata. Appamada means not parting with mindfulness. There will not be lack of mindfulness. Appamada means not departing with the mindfulness, not lacking mindfulness, always having mindfulness. So one should have the appamada to refrain from wrongdoings. One should refrain from wrongdoings by body, speech, and mind. One should refrain from bodily misbehavior, stealing, killing, sexual misconduct. One should refrain from verbal misconduct, lying, slandering, harsh speech, senseless talk. And one should refrain from mental misconduct, wanting to take other people's belongings by force, killing, wanting to kill, wanting to torment others. So such behavior by body, speech, and mind should be refrained. And one should refrain from mental misconduct, having wrong view that good deeds do not bring good results, bad deeds do not bring bad results. If the person is negligent, then the person commits wrongdoings, and the person will be sunk in the mud, and not being able to free himself or herself out of these mud, the person's life will be full of suffering. In order to refrain from wrongdoing, in order to perform wholesome things, one should follow the guidance and instructions and the teachings. And one should refrain from wrongdoing. One should not be negligent. One should not fail. One should always have appamada. One should always have mindfulness. So Buddha reminded the beings to relish and to have delight in appamada. One should not have pleasure in other things, but one should have pleasure in appamada. And Buddha reminded the beings with Mahakaruna, great compassion. In order to have delight in appamada, there should be sasita manurekata. One should have protection, protecting the mind. If the mind is uncontrolled, the mind will get spoiled. Just as when the parents do not teach their children, the children get spoiled. And if the teacher does not give proper guidance to the student gets spoiled. In the same way, when the mind is not protected, if the person does not control the mind gets spoiled. The mind goes on to wholesome objects, but mostly the mind goes on to unwholesome objects. The mind going stray, going here and there, to every nook and corner. The mind going to good objects to be seen, to be heard, to be tasted, to be touched. And when not getting what the person wants, then the person craves and longs for good objects. By getting what the person wants, one gets elated. So it is important to have a good control of one's mind. One should have the protection. One should protect one's mind. If the person lets one's mind go freely on pleasant objects to be seen, to be heard, to be tasted, to be touched, then the mind goes on to misconduct. When the mind is let go free, without any control, the mind becomes stray, it is very spoiled, and this also leads to bad behavior, bad bodily behavior, and bad verbal behavior. In order to avoid oneself from wrongdoings, one should protect one's mind. One should have a good control of one's mind. If the person is left uncontrolled, if the mind is let go free, uncontrolled, men end up committing sex with the women that the person is not married to, or having sex with the other person's spouse or partner. And also women, if they lack control of their mind, they have affairs with some other's husband or partner. Such kind of behavior arises in those men and women who are lacking control of their mind. And if they have committed such transgression once, they keep on wanting the same over and over again. And they are sunk in these sensual objects, just like being sunk in mud. Some people, they are having intoxicants. They become intoxicated, addicted to drugs, and they commit wrongdoings, and they cannot save themselves. The Dhammapada verse was given based on an elephant. While an elephant was going in the pastures, the elephant happened to sink in the mud. The monks who saw the elephant sinking in mud, when they come back from the alms round, they told the Buddha, and based on that, Buddha gave the Dhammapada verse as the teaching. When the elephant sunk in the mud, the other people played the army music, as this elephant happened to be in the army, in the fighting. So when the elephant heard the army music, he exerted all the effort he could, and he set himself free from the mud. So this example was given to teach that Buddha taught sons and daughters, get yourself free from the defilement mud. Please free yourself from the defilement mud by appamada. So not wanting the beings to be sunk in the sensual desire, sensual objects, one has to be free from the defilement mud. In order not to transgress in the sensual desire that is unlawful, one should have protection. One should protect one's mind with mindfulness. One should struggle oneself from the defilement mud. So the Buddha taught that one should free oneself from the defilement mud in order to reach the shore. If the person is letting one's mind go freely on the defilements, the person is sinking in the defilement mud. There will be lobha, greed, dosa, anger. So one should free oneself from the defilement mud. No creator can take responsibility of the being. Buddha had given the method in order to enable the person to free himself or herself from the kilesa mud. And the way to free oneself from the kilesa mud is appamada. Appamada means non-failure, non-negligence, to refrain from unwholesomeness and to perform wholesomeness. And there should be mindfulness. One should be mindful of every arising object. One should have sustained mindfulness. Having sustained mindfulness, one can free oneself from the defilement mud. Just as the elephant freed himself out of the mud, in the same way, the person has to free himself, herself, out of the defilement mud by appamada. So while the Dhamma relatives are here in this meditation retreat, Sayadaw encourages that they practice appamada to free themselves from the defilement mud. Most of the worldly beings do not give priority to the Dhamma which can uplift the life. Only 1 out of 1,000 keep the Dhamma as the norm, as the ideal. Only 1 out of 1,000 are interested in the Dhamma. And Buddha said that 80% of the people give priority, or 80% of the people set good appearances as the norm. And 75% of the people set good voice as the norm, where the 90% set the norm of the austerity practices. So 90% of the people keep austerity practices as the norm. And only 1 out of 1,000 give priority to the Dhamma practice. So it is only 0.1% of the people give priority to the Dhamma. So in order to be included in the 0.1%, one should practice diligently. One should practice Satipatthana meditation diligently to be included in the 0.1% of people who cherish and value the Dhamma. One should make a resolution. While others are staying in appamada, we will stay with pamada, not failing, not being negligent, to refrain from things that should be refrained from, to perform things that should be performed. So in this way, one should make a resolution. While others are living in appamada, we will live with Paṇḍitā, not failing, not negligent. And one should make a resolution that I will practice Satipatthana meditation that can abandon the defilements, raga, dosa, moha, that have been following the round of existences. And one should make a resolution, determination, that I will cultivate such kind of attitude. I will cultivate such kind of good habit. One also has to make a resolution, determination, that I will replace Paṇḍitā with Apamada. Having Apamada, non-failure, non-heedlessness, non-negligence, one's life will be uplifted. Having Apamada, one's life is uplifted. Having Paṇḍitā, failure, negligence, heedlessness, the person's life is inferior and degraded. So in this way, one should make a resolution, determination, that one will uplift one's life by Apamada. Having Apamada, one refrains from wrongdoings and one does not meet harm or danger. Having Apamada, one performs wholesome things and thus one benefit. So one has to make a resolution, determination, that one will replace Paṇḍitā with Apamada so that one's life will be smooth, calm, and composed. If there is Paṇḍitā, failure, negligence, the person has social problems by himself, herself, and the person has social problems dealing with family, friends, and relatives. Having Apamada, non-negligence, non-failure, one solves one's own social problem as well as solving family problem. So may you all be able to practice Apamada so that your life will be uplifted, solving social problems. So may you all be able to practice Apamada. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Idano Punya,
Idano Punya,
Asakayavaham,
Asavakayavaham,
Hotu,
Hotu,
Idano Punya,
Idano Punya,
Nippanasa,
Nippanasa,
Pacayo,
Pacayo,
Hotu,
Hotu,
Imano,
Imano,
Punya Bhagam,
Punya Bhagam,
Sabba Sattanam,
Sabba Satana,
Vipachema,
Vipassana,
Sabbi Satta,
Sabbi Satta,
Imam Punya Bhagam,
Imam Punya Bhagam,
Labitawa,
Labitawa,
Sukhita,
Sukhita,
Bhavantu,
Bhavantu. So as the Dhamma relative has been here doing various kinds of wholesome deeds, dana, offering, saranagamana, taking refuges, taking 8 precepts, and practicing Satipatthana meditation in order to cultivate both the mind and the knowledge and helping each other with the services. So having done all these various kinds of merits, and also the meditation teachers giving the guidance instructions. So everyone here in the retreat has done various kinds of merits. So such merits are called punya, as these merits purify the person, and such kind of merits make the person to be fulfilled with one wishes, and thus these merits are called punya. Having done all these various kinds of merits, the deities also like to have a share of merit. So we share the merit with all the beings as well as the guardian deities. So you have just recited, repeating after Sayadaw, saying that may our merit be the support to attain arhatship. May our merit be a support to attain nibbana. We share all the merits with all the beings. May all the beings be able to get our share of merit. May they be well and may they be happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And Sayadaw will encourage one more thing. There are blood circulating in our body. And if we do exercise, there will be good circulation. There will be good blood circulation in the body, keeping the person fit and healthy. When the person is subject to extreme cold, there will be blood clots in the body which lead to illnesses. So it is important to have good blood circulation. In the same way, it is important to have the Dhamma blood circulating well within ourselves. So when the yogis are going back to their place, if they are jumping into the sensual pleasure, forgetting the practice, the Dhamma blood will not circulate well. So while you go back home, Sayadaw would like to encourage to give at least an hour each day for Satipatthana practice in order to keep the Dhamma blood warm and to circulate well within yourself. And this is the encouragement that Sayadaw gives. Lastly, for this special retreat. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.